Have it right. Up the Chelsea, up the Minerals FC. Big up to every single one of you live and locked in. Up everyone is doing well in life. First and foremost, I want you all to smash to piece that like button. If you haven't smashed it, smash it right now. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, make sure you do so. We've got the notification bell, ding dong, let's have it right, so you know when we go live. And we've got the Minerals FC Ultras membership down below in the description. Salute to all the Minerals FC Ultras. Salute to our Chelsea old boys. We see things they'll never see. And salute to the no surrender mentality. So straight away, we're going into it. John Obi Mikel has decided to speak on Victor Osimhen. He says, he reveals Victor Osimhen really wants to play for Chelsea. He says, listen, it will be really sad if we don't get a player who supported us as a kid and wants to play for this football club. He's Arbor. He will want to break records, win us trophies, get us back to the top, come for Drogba's records. I'm telling you, that would be his mission. If the club chose not to pursue it, then, well, fair enough. Good luck to them. But the good thing about it is we know where we left it. We literally pick up the phone. We can pick up the phone and get him straight in the door. Get him in. Now, John Mikel is relentlessly pushing the PR to get Victor Osimhen, and rightly so. We should be signing Victor Osimhen. He's my top pick, along with Gyökeres. I'd love Isaac, but that's not going to happen. But the reality is, all right, the ownership, Egbali specifically, is the one to blame for us not signing Victor Osimhen on deadline day. Victor Osimhen was ready to sign for Chelsea. He wants Chelsea. Enzo Maresca spoke to him twice on the phone, saying, I want him, I want you, come. He says, well, until your owners offer a serious offer and don't insult me and stop insulting me, then there's no point in us to talking. Now, Enzo Maresca definitely wanted Victor Osimhen. What manager doesn't want Victor Osimhen? The reality is, Egbali wouldn't pay over 150 grand a week because that breaks the wage structure. The structure and model, the Brighton model, which is based upon the debt that they've taken on at this football club with double-digit interest. So that's why we didn't sign Victor Osimhen. So there's no ambition. There's no serious intent to compete. And after spending 1.5 billion, we've still got Nicolas Jackson as our striker. Now, John Obi Mikel come out about Nicolas Jackson. Oh, he's great. He presses. He works hard. You can see there's a difference in the team, but he's, he needs to do his job. Yeah, he needs to score goals. He hasn't scored in what? 12 games? 12 games he hasn't scored a goal? That's when he's fit. 12 games when he's fit or something like that. It's ridiculous. Like, how can you rely upon that striker? You cannot. He's not good enough to be Chelsea level. You spend 1.5 billion and you have not got a world-class striker or an elite striker. And Victor Osimhen's 25 years old. At the end of the day, John Obi Mikel knows what we need. He's putting pressure on the clown owners to sign Victor Osimhen. The reality is he wants over 200 grand a week, 220, 230 grand. That is small change in this market. Haaland's on 500 grand a week. And let's have it right. Osimhen is up there with the Haalands, bruv. That ilk of striker. So that's a cut price, half price, bruv. His release clause is 65 million, something like that. So at the end of the day, I know Victor Osimhen ain't come to Chelsea. That's gone. That ship sailed, as Jason Victor Cundy said to me on TalkSport about the directors leaving. That ship sailed. Well, instead, everyone, these clowns are looking at Delap. Now, Liam Delap fits the bill, young, got potential. He's played in the Premier League. But let me show you the difference in quality here. Now, Delap could be 40, 50 million. Osimhen 65 million. Just remember that. But it's the wages, yeah? Now, Victor Osimhen this season has got 33 GA. So that's 28 goals and 5 assists. Delap playing for Ipswich, who are going to get relegated, 12 goals and 2 assists. Why are we shopping for Delap at Ipswich, who are going to get relegated? What intent is that? And how are people justifying that? Is a joke. I mean, that tells you where the standards lie at this football club, where the standards from the top lie and the intent. Osimhen is worlds apart in levels, quality, experience, mentality, love for Chelsea. What are we doing here, bruv? So let's have it right. They ain't got money to spend right now, and everything relies on top four. If we don't get top five, yeah, that Champions League money, they need that. They're desperate for it. So at the end of the day, as far as I'm concerned, stop propaganda in Delap. And why are we shopping? Even worse now, we're shopping bottom of the barrel. We've gone for a championship manager, a Shrewsbury Wedding Hall championship player to come to our football club. Why are we shopping in the championship? Why are we taking Delap, who's basically a championship player, come from the Academy of City? It's a joke. It's embarrassing. And you know what the most important signing is that these clowns need to make, yeah? Is Luis Campos, who is unlikely to sign a new contract at Paris Saint-Germain to continue his role as sporting advisor. The former Lille sporting director's contract expires at the end of the season. If you've got real intent, you bring one of the best in the game and get rid of Winstanley and Stewart, who are killing this club, but they're yes men. They're executing the model implemented by Egbali and Feliciano and Clearlake, who are running the football terms. So at the end of the day, there's no intent there. You've got an opportunity to get Luis Campos. You've got an opportunity there to get Victor Osimhen. And the going narrative right now is about Maresca. Everyone's saying, sack him, get rid of him. And then you've got his defenders going, oh, he's literally had us in the top four all season, and you want him sacked, and he's not far off Pochettino's stats. Oh, he's conceded less goals than Pochettino. I don't care, bruv. The benchmark's in the mud. Pochettino should never have been at our football club. That's the second gaffer that these clowns have hired. And this guy's ex-Spurs, he should never have been at Chelsea. And he went against the ownership because he wanted to keep Thiago Silva, Gallagher, Trev Chalobah, wanted experienced players. He needs a balance. Yeah? Maresca, on the other hand, he's a yes man. He's happy to be in the job. He puts up a lineup against Brentford. It's shambolic. Resting players for a Conference League game when you can play the team you played. Not even most of them some of them you could have benched as well and played them in the Conference League. You don't drop your best players. What intent is that to show that you want Champions League football? Yeah? So have it right. And the bottom line is Enzo Maresca hasn't got a pool of players that have got experience to carry him like he had at Leicester when he had Vardy's and the most expensive championship team on the books and transfer fees. He's got a Premier League team in the championship. So he had experience to fall back on because he almost bottled a 17-point lead. He hasn't got that at Chelsea. He hasn't got any experience. He hasn't got an elite spine. We don't have an elite goalkeeper, centre-back, midfield, another midfielder, a top midfield, reliable midfielder. All right, to play with Caicedo. And then you've got up front, no elite striker. You're relying on Nkunku, who they're trying to sell, and he shouldn't even be playing at Chelsea. They've treated him with disrespect, and he's a number 10, and he's playing him as a striker when he's come out and said he's not a striker. And you've had Nicolas Jackson just come back from injury for being 2.5 months out. It's just like the squad assemblement is why where we are. Now, Pochettino said on May the 10th in 2024, he says, if the players believe that with another coach, they'll do better than me at Chelsea, I'm the first to say, hey, they can go and talk with the owner and the sporting director. Because the facts of the matter is, the facts are the squad is not good enough to play Champions League football. The squad is not good enough after all this time, 3-year process, to have to try and get top four to get in the Champions League tells you where we are. And the fact that they're not going in the market and buying Victor Osimhen's, a Bastoni, a Diogo Costa. Mike Magnum's got 1 year on his contract. We ain't going to get him, bruv. They got 9 goalkeepers and none of them are good enough to play for Chelsea. You've got Sanchez, who's third choice goalkeeper for Brighton, playing as our number 1 goalkeeper. You've got Jackson as a striker. Gui, if he wasn't injured, would be the backup. We've got Jadon Sancho, who they're going to pay a penalty fee, to get rid of him because he's been rubbish. Mudueke, they're going to ship off and they try and sell him. They've got defenders that they brought in. Viega, 6 months later, loan him out. Felix bought him 6 months ago for the Conor Gallagher money to sell Conor Gallagher to Atletico Madrid, to then loan him out 6 months later. They've got to sell this guy. Disarcy on loan test. I mean, everything's a shambles. Everything's profit motivated or advertising motivated because they want to advertise these players to increase their value. Because the bottom line is this: the environment at Chelsea on a footballing level is non-existent at Chelsea. And what do you expect with Enzo Maresca? Enzo Maresca's not elite. He's not elite. And everyone says, oh, he's not going to get sacked because we need sustainability. How can you be sustainable with a manager who hasn't got the experience and a squad that is not even sustainable on this level right now to try and get Champions League football? It's not a sustainable model to build a football team to compete at the highest level. And if you've got a wage cap and you've got a certain age profile, every time you go in the market, well, you're stagnating. We've got the youngest age squad in Europe right now. Our average age in the squad is like 23 years old or something. So what are we doing here? A lot of these players are not even staying here for the long haul. They're getting shipped out after 6 months or a year or after 2 years. There's no sustainability. There's no stability, because up the top, it's not about that on a footballing level. It's about being sustainable on a financial level. And that's what they keep promoting. It's all about we're in the clear. PSR, we're in the clear. We spent 1.5 billion. Oh, but by the way, we need to have a rebuild. We are in need of a rebuild, whether you like it or not, to compete at this level. The bottom line is Maresca is weak mentality. He told us we're not in it for top 4 this year. We've got next year to get top 4 and then second year play after that. And it's a 5 to 10 year process. Then he's flipped the script and lied and also said that the owners haven't told me anything about getting top 4, to then flip it after losing at Brighton back-to-back, who was the benchmark, the model, to say, we have to get Champions League football. That's the target. Well, what is the target if you're setting up a team like you did against Brentford? Like, what, is this squad not good enough to play every single game? How can they be tired? Casado's the only player that deserves to be rested because he's played 90 minutes every game. We're so over-reliant on him. Cole Palmer's still carrying an injury, all right, having injections, and you're forcing him, which is why you didn't play him against Brentford. These are the facts, bro. And you need to bring experience in. So at the end of the day, I don't want Enzo Maresca at this club. He's a yes man. He's a puppet, and he's telling lies every single time. He says, oh, if you can't win, then just make sure you don't lose. What kind of mentality is that? That's not Chelsea mentality. Everything about this guy is exactly what they want. And this is vouched by the directors, and Eghbali signed this off. Eghbali allowed this signing. So the directors might recommend. The bottom line is Eghbali has the overall say on everything, and with Strasbourg. So Eghbali's the one to take the blame, bro. If you want to blame anyone, you blame him. Blame Siri Merchant, because he's the one that's killing our football club. While Meatloaf Bowley, who's standing behind Donald Trump doing a speech, smiling and joking like he's the biggest clown in the game of football, which he is. He's there with a bigger agenda to kill football, bruv. Tout Bowley, vivid seats. Let's not forget it, bruv. And we're waiting to hear our reply. And on top of all of this, right, you have to ask the question here. Matt Law comes out, and says Chelsea are waiting for the outcome of the Premier League investigation over payments in the Abramovich era. Chelsea are confident they won't be hit with a transfer ban or points deduction, despite all possible sanctions said to be on the table. We heard that this is not going to have any effect. We heard that nothing's going to happen here. We're all gravy with this. It might not happen for another 2-3 years. They're investigating. Well, let's ask, what are the Premier League's investigation? How's it going with the vivid seats? Because we're waiting for a reply, because Chelsea Supporters Trust have reported to the Premier League. So we're getting Matt Law, who's obviously trying to earn his stripes and brownie points because Meatloaf Bailey wants to buy the Daily Telegraph. And obviously Matt Law is a reporter for the Daily Telegraph. Matt Law would rather promote this because it suits the owner's agenda. Well, let me remind you lot, that this ownership has us loaned a 1.2 billion loan with double-digit interest. Aries Management at 500 million and at 13% interest rate. And the Syndicate Bank loan with Sonia at 7.7% of 702 million. We are already up to the debt, already, almost as much as Roman had us in debt for his entire reign at Chelsea. And Clown Lake, Bluecoat have got more debt, almost double-digit debt, than the Glazers, who have been at Man United for 20 years. So you explain to me, Matt Law, why you ain't reporting that, but you want to report this. And by the way, he puts the tweet out, and I'm blocked by him, so I can't reply. But he stops all the comments as well. Yeah? Because he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. His job, he's thinking, shit, if I speak the truth, and if he says, what did he say to us? Let's land the damn minerals.
Well, we do leave stuff out, Todd. And if I wrote everything I knew, you'd be in big trouble.
Well, you'll be in big trouble because you'll be getting your P45 at the Daily Telegraph if you do say what you know, because you hide and withhold information, just like the Athletic and Pornstein and the lot of them. You know, they're a disgrace and they are participating in the downfall of our football club. Still to this day, not one journalist wants to touch Vivid Seats or touch the debt. Greg Cordell is landing minerals. He's landing minerals. He's going to be coming on the Minerals FC. So make sure everyone is going to be tuned in for that one. And that should be in a couple of weeks' time. But this is where we are. This is where we are. It's all about Roman now. You want to pin it on Roman. It's a fugazi, bruv. It's a lie. Yeah? Roman left his club debt-free. He wiped the debt off. His money's still not being paid that's owed to him. He's still in the bank earning interest. Who am I going to believe? Am I going to believe Blueco and the little snitch rats that they are? No chance, bruv. PR allows them to get where they are now. So you decide what are the standards, what they should be at Chelsea. You decide what signings we should be making. Why are we even talking about signings when we got top four to try and get top five? And it's looking a bit of a sticky situation because Newcastle just won, and now what are they? 1 point behind us, or level goal difference. They got a game in hand. Is it going to be between us and Manchester City for the 5th position? Or Aston Villa? It's looking very, very technical right now. It's looking very, very uncomfortable right now. Whoa, back to life, back to reality. Brown envelope's going to keep flying about. I don't care what you tell me, bruv. The brown envelopes will always run out. They always do. It doesn't stop the truth. The truth is there. Everyone can see it. And stop propagandering Maresca and these players. No, most of this team, 90% of this team, doesn't get anywhere near previous Chelsea teams. Oh, fucking hell. Let's go 95% of the team. The only players that have any minerals to get into previous Chelsea teams and to get into any top teams or even any fucking teams up to 10th position, because everyone goes, oh, we're not far off the top 3, all right? But how far off we are 10th? What is it, 3 points off 10th or something? What is it? I'm not even interested. But the reality is we're closer to 10th than we are to the top 2, top 3, top 2. And that's where you should be looking. How close can we get to the top 2? But we're not looking that way. We're looking who's behind us. You know what I'm saying? These Blueco's merchants and all these brown envelopes are turning into Bonnie Blue, bruv. Looking what's behind her, bruv. And then all she does is look straight. That's it. Takes the hit. You know what I'm saying? What are we doing here? I'm asking the question, what are we doing here? It's an absolute shambles. 3 years in and we're just about scraping to try and get Champions League football. 95% of this team doesn't get in. The only players that got the minerals is Trev Chalobah, Reece James, Casado, Cole Palmer. That's it. 1.5 billion spent. 90 players they bought. 90 players. So you tell me, you can come at the manager all you want. He's an outright yes man and he's a sellout. And he's a one-dimensional gaffer. He's not even a gaffer. He's a coach. Yeah? He shouldn't be coaching Chelsea. He shouldn't be managing Chelsea. All right? But who put him there? It's the directors, Winstanley Stewart. Go and get Campos instead of these two mid-yes men. You understand me? But the reality is the debt dictates the model at Chelsea. And that's where we are. Big up to everyone in here. Smash the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Put all your comments down below. I'll be back again. You know the deal. And let's have it right. Win, lose or draw. Blue Co. Out.